Welcome to today's presentation on digital marketing and experience economy. My name is Adam Hopkins and I am the editor of Taiwan Scene. Taiwan Scene is an online travel magazine which is aimed at visitors to Taiwan from overseas. I've been working here for over a year now, and I was previously the staff writer and social media editor at Time Out Shanghai magazine in China, and I've written for publications from all over the world, including the UK, Australia, and the United States of America. Here's a quick look into what my job entails occasionally, but unfortunately this isn't the day-to-day, it's mainly pretty office-based. If you wish to contact me after seeing today's presentation and lesson, feel free to contact me via email on adam@mytaiwantour.com or via Twitter at AW23Hopkins. So I'm going to start just by introducing where I am, which is of course Taiwan. Taiwan is a country well known for its history and its historical sites, and artifacts are one of the things that attracts a lot of tourists to Taiwan. One of the best places to experience Taiwan's history is at the National Palace Museum, which has a northern branch in Taipei and a southern branch in Chiayi. And the northern branch is the most famous and the oldest of the two museums, and it has more than 700,000 artifacts and exhibits on display covering more than 5,000 years of Chinese and Taiwanese history. Please watch this quick video just to get a little bit more background on Taiwan's famous National Palace Museum.
After having a taste of Taiwan's vibrant art and culture scene, I wanted to learn more. So I went to a place that I could be sure to get a heaping dose of it.
One way to get a taste of Taiwanese culture is to immerse ourselves in Taiwanese art. And we're here at the National Palace Museum, which houses one of the largest Chinese artifacts collections in the world.
The National Palace Museum has one of the world's largest collection of ancient Chinese imperial artifacts and artworks with a permanent collection of over 700,000 pieces. One day isn't nearly enough to walk through its halls and properly appreciate the centuries of history housed within the museum walls. So we suggest making a game plan before walking in and prioritizing the collections you would most like to see. One exhibit that caught my eye was in room 106, entitled A Garland of Treasures, Masterpieces of Precious Crafts in the Museum Collection. Here's where you'll see just how intricate and detailed early Chinese craftsmanship was. Artists endowed with the ability to make even the most mundane of objects look like fine works of art. The most stunning piece housed here is a set of carved openwork concentric ivory balls with cloud and dragon decoration from the Qing dynasty in the 19th century. A masterpiece with 24 free-moving layers, which was crafted out of a single block of ivory. Arguably two most important pieces in the museum, and the most popular, as evidenced by the long lines, can be found in room 302. The meat-shaped stone, banded jasper shaped like a succulent piece of braised pork belly. And this jadeite cabbage, a carving of a bok choy cabbage where the artist followed the natural colors of the jadeite to turn the green parts into the leafy area and the white part into its stem. This lifelike sculpture is complemented by the katydid and the locust perched atop the leaves. After my visit to the museum, I came away awestruck by the level of detail that the artisan put into their work and an understanding of just how much Chinese nobility revered beauty in all its forms.
Another thing that Taiwan is famous for is its food, ranging from street foods to fine dining rated by the Michelin Guide. If you come to Taiwan, in particular Taipei, or many other parts of the island, you'll find all sorts of world famous delicacies that you need to try. And one of the most common places to find the best authentic Taiwanese food is at one of the island's many night markets found in cities such as Taipei and Kaohsiung. And if you go to one of the traditional night markets in town, you'll be able to find all sorts of different Taiwanese foods, ranging from famous soup dumplings such as xiaolongbao to more interesting tastes such as stinky tofu, which when you're here you really need to try. Here's a video on Taiwanese food and in particular the food you can find at night markets in Taipei.
Night markets. They're everywhere. Night markets are perhaps the best expression of Taiwan's local food culture. Chinese in its origin, but totally unique to this place. In this city alone, there are 30 such markets, each brimming with a certain energy, locals perusing the hundreds of stalls for whatever they're craving that night. And you don't have to choose just one stall. Choose 5 or 10. Wander, sample, mingle. Wow, that is a long line. I hope it's worth it. We landed in Taiwan last night, and let me tell you, there is nothing I love more than 14 hours on a plane with a 3-year-old. We're gonna go to one of the city's oldest night markets tonight, which I've been told is a can't-miss food opportunity. Before that, we're gonna explore the city, starting with some scallion pancakes. So first of all, scallion pancakes are savory. They're pan-fried dough that are served with a bunch of different sauces and toppings, like ham, cheese, egg, basil. They first flatten the dough, throw it onto the skillet, and then they start to smack it around with their spatula to puff it up to create a light and fluffy, almost pastry-like texture. So good. These look amazing. It's almost between like a pastry and naan. Henry's too hungry. This is real travel with kids. For you, Mr. Man. The scallion pancakes are a must-try. They're almost like a breakfast sandwich meets a croissant meets chapati.
Meets heaven.
Meets heaven.
Meets heaven. I mean, it's so good.
We have about 4 hours till nightfall, so we're gonna go explore the city. If you're in Taiwan, you have to wander through the Longshan Temple. Showered with ornamental design and symbolism, the temple is bustling with both tourists and locals alike. We're here at the night market and it is so busy. There's so much to see. There are two things that I know that I want to try. One is stinky tofu. I'm not really sure that I want to try it, but I was told that I should, so I'm going to, okay? Okay. The other is the pork pepper bun. This was mentioned in the Taipei Eater Guide as one of the top foods to try. The queues are super, super long, so that has to mean something. I'm really, really excited to eat it finally. This is unlike anything I've ever seen. It is super, super busy. There's so many options. We have to be strategic.
Quail eggs.
Give me those. I actually have never had a quail egg. This is a first. Cheers. Wow, that is really good. Really creamy inside. It's not like, it's just undercooked enough, the yolk. And then it has that crispy outer and the really flavorful seasoning and sauce. Yum. This is the moment we've all been waiting for, the stinky tofu. The smell is extreme. There's flavors that if you grow up to, they're acquired tastes, like cheese and fermented foods, and stinky tofu I think is one of those. I don't hate it. It's actually really good if I don't think about the smell, but if I start to think about the smell as I'm eating it, the struggle is very real. The texture is really good. It's crispy on the outside and really chewy on the inside. And it has this pickled cabbage, which goes really nicely with it. It's not my favorite only because I have to keep my mind very focused on not thinking about the smell. But I'm very surprised by how much I do like it. I wouldn't have expected that. This is pure organized chaos. It is so chaotic, but there's this energy that is just so fun.
It's amazing. Here we have what I think are some of the most beautiful buns I've ever seen. That preparation was insane.
Here goes it. That is so good. So we've made it through almost all of the market, and I have to say the overwhelmingness of so many good options is just part of the experience. We're gonna finish off with the pork pepper bun, which I've been waiting all day to try. I read about it in the Eater Guide, and I think I've just been dreaming about it since, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be dreaming about it after. The pork pepper bun is made with minced pork, green onions, black pepper, and what they say is their secret blend of spices. It's then wrapped in dough, thrown into a tandoor-style oven, and cooked until golden brown. Hi. Three. Thank you. Oh, I'm so excited! Really good. Really peppery. The meat has a sweet, salty, and then the crust is crispy, but then really nice and chewy on the inside. You can see how it's nice and charred on the bottom. It has that good crunch, but then also the chewiness of a bun. That is incredibly flavorful and really delicious. I am 100% sold on the night market thing. I wish we had them at home, but I guess it just means I'm gonna have to come back. Make sure to tune in to next week's episode where we explore one of Taiwan's most loved, most common dishes, beef noodle.
Another thing Taiwan is very famous for is its nature. I believe that Taiwan is the most mountainous country in the world if you take into account mountain coverage to this country's surface area and landmass. So if you come to Taiwan and you like hiking, there's many hikes you can take part in one of the country's many beautiful mountains. So let's get started with what is destination marketing. Destination marketing is a promotional activity. It requires you to promote the destination where your tour will take place. The idea is to attract your customers through the unique features of a location to sell them your services. Here's a quick video on destination marketing ideas, and it will give you just a deeper understanding of the topic.
What you don't want to do is come off super duper desperate, like, visit us, come visit us. Please come visit my place. What's up, storytellers? Welcome to this very first edition of Free Content Idea Friday, where I will take your suggestions for a business or business type and just wax poetic about the kinds of content strategy and content idea that will work for you and your business. Now, the reason I started this series is because one of the things I do in my day job is I get up on stage and I speak. I speak at content conferences, at marketing conferences, and I'm talking about brand storytelling and content strategy. And my very favorite part is actually the Q&A at the end. This is where the skeptics come out. They step up to the microphone and they're like, look, I'm listening to you, I hear what you're saying, but here's why that won't work for me. Here's why my business is different. Here's why whatever you said doesn't apply to me. And one of my favorite things to do is to help them work through that and see that content can be super powerful for any type of business. Any type of business. That's really what this series is going to be all about, taking your suggestions, showing you how content can work for your business, and hopefully just putting out some good vibes in the universe so you can all go out there and tell better stories. To kick off this first episode, the suggestion comes from Larissa, who wants me to talk about destination marketing. Destination marketing is actually a super fun area. This is anyone who's trying to market a destination. Could be tourism, could be your local government. It could even just be a small business that's trying to lean into their local community or their neighborhood or their city as an anchor for their business. On some level, your place is your product. So you do need to talk about the place. I want to give them the basics, right? What do people need to know about where you are? What might people not know? What myths can you dispel? If you are truly trying to bring someone to Savannah, you're trying to bring someone to your destination, you need to give them reasons why. A lot of my advice for the world of content marketing actually comes from my background as a journalist, where you really want to be digging in what does the audience need to know. You want to be investigating your own place, right? But one of the key things they teach you in journalism school is show, don't tell, right? So as marketers, it's very easy for us to sit around and tell people why our place or our product is so great. But most of us don't react to being told what to do. We don't particularly like to be told what to do. Don't tell me what to do. What you could do is use showing instead. So you want to find the examples of places, people, experiences, products that showcase how great your place is without you having to tell them, right? So a great example of this would be, instead of saying, we have great food here in our place and you should come here and you should eat here, why don't you do a series of reviews of restaurants? Or why don't you make one of those videos that you always see on Facebook about some viral restaurant that has some crazy food item, right? They have these like the biggest or the most amazing cheese, whatever it is, right? Just cheese on cheese. Or they have this special kind of ice cream made out of some ingredient that you can't get anywhere else but locally. Making one of those where you're showing people, here's some amazing, delicious food you need to be eating, as opposed to telling them that the food is great, you're really going to connect with people on a much deeper level and allow them to decide, I need to go there and eat that food. Remember a few years ago, the cronut, this combination croissant and donut, was the most amazing thing. It wasn't because you saw ads everywhere that said, come eat a cronut. You're like, wait a second, there's lines outside for this thing. I see them making it. Everyone's posting about it. You saw and you heard from people that it was amazing. They didn't have to tell you. You believed it on your own. So you can do that by showing people the amazing parts about whatever your place may be. Now, it doesn't just have to be local businesses, although if you are a destination marketer, it is super smart to partner with local businesses so that you can create profiles of those places and help draw in crowds. It's a win-win for both of you. But it can also be people. It can also be experiences. Maybe there's a festival that happens. Maybe there's some sort of food truck event that happens. Maybe there's a craft show. Maybe there's concerts. Maybe you want to go inside the local concert venue and talk about the upcoming events. You know, maybe you have a national park nearby and you want to showcase how awesome it is to camp out at the park or all the amazing wildlife you can see there. All of that would be super relevant. And again, showing people that there's something they want to come see. Let them see it for themselves and then decide they need to be there.
The other thing you want to think about with destination marketing, as with any type of business, is try to anticipate the objections. What's the reason that someone might decide they don't want to come to this location? It could be the price, it could be the weather, it could be I'm not sure if I'll be able to take my kid or my dog or whatever else. You want to be able to answer those objections. So if you know, for example, like when I think of Savannah in Georgia, I think it's hot. So I might think, as a consumer, I don't want to go there in the summer. Right? Because it's going to be super duper hot. Same thing if I'm going to go to Sweden. I might think I don't want to go there in February because it's going to be freezing. So if that's not true, or if there are ways to overcome that objection with your content, you can answer that. So this is where you'd see the adaptation of content where it's like places to stay in Savannah with air conditioning in the summer, or best indoor activities for a summer visit to Savannah. Trying to find those potential objections and create content that answers that so that when I'm looking up, is it too hot to visit Savannah? I'm going to find that kind of content that you're creating, and you can help answer my objection before you even know that I've had it. You don't let me draw this incorrect conclusion that could keep me from becoming a visitor, a customer, because you've created content that answers my objection before it even gets to that point. The other thing you want to think about is how do you adapt these things for different people? So me, as a married woman with no children, my goals for visiting Savannah, the things that I want to do, are going to be very different from a friend of mine who's traveling with an infant. She's going to have very different ideas of what she wants to do. My friend who might be considering Savannah as a location for his bachelor party is going to have a very different list of things that he wants to do. When I'm traveling to Savannah, I'm going to want to know where can I eat food that is organic or halal, right? Someone else might care about kosher. Someone else might care about gluten-free. So you have this option to adapt all of the content that you're creating for each of these different audiences and create what I would call a cluster. So the centerpiece being restaurants where you can eat in Savannah, and the offshoot content being customized lists. So best gluten-free restaurants, best restaurants for kids, best restaurants with outdoor seating because the weather's going to be amazing, best restaurants with Wi-Fi if you want to get some work done, best restaurants to eat alone if you're a business traveler. So you can create that central piece of content, the best places to eat in our location, and then create these spokes that come off of that central hub that are different derivative pieces of content. And don't feel like you just have to talk about local businesses or local activities either, because when someone is planning a trip, there are other things they're going to be considering. Which airport is best if I'm traveling to Savannah? If I'm going to be at that airport, what's the best way to get downtown? Do I need to take a taxi? Is there a bus service? What's the best way to get around? When I do get there, can you tell me, is there a bike share? Is Lyft big? Is Uber big? Are they banned? You're giving your audience the information they need to be your best customer. The other thing you can think about with destination marketing is whether there's a particular hobby or activity that people normally travel to your destination for. If you know people are coming to town with a certain hobby in mind, keep that in mind for your content creation. You can create content that appeals to people with that exact hobby. This is probably easier if you think about something like Colorado, where people might be going to the Rockies to go skiing, right? So if that's the case, then you want to create content around that. Maybe how to travel with your ski gear, how to make sure you're going to be able to physically adapt to a change in the elevation. If you don't have those particular things, think about what kind of hobbies people might be doing anyway when they get to your destination. If I'm a runner, for example, it might be cool for me to know what the local running trails are downtown in your area or safe places to run at night. Another thing to keep in mind for destination marketing is that I think visuals are particularly important in this area. There are some kinds of products that you don't necessarily need to understand what it visually looks like. If we're talking about cloud computing or accounting software, the visuals aren't going to be really what sells me there. But if you're trying to convince someone to take time off of work and to come spend any significant amount of time where you are, you've got to give them a reason to. What do they expect? What will they see? And many times, whether it's landscape photography or urban photography, the visuals that you can give your audience through photo and video will really help seal that deal. I mean, Iceland has become such a huge travel destination in the last several years, due in large part to the fact that it's stunning. I mean, it's gorgeous. And anytime someone goes there, they're coming back with and sharing and posting these amazing photos of the mountains, of hiking, of hot springs, and all of these beautiful destinations. It's helped make it so that even though I could know next to nothing about Iceland, if I know that it's beautiful, and that's important to me when I'm traveling, then it's somewhere I want to go. This is a portfolio for the model that is your destination. What are the headshots? What are the lifestyle shots that are going to show it in its best light and help you put your best face forward? The other thing that you want to think about when you're creating this type of content is not to have your headlines and your content be super dependent on the name of your place. And the reason for that is the ideal person to come visit your place may not be searching for it. Maybe they don't know that Savannah or your location is the perfect place for a family vacation, but they are probably going to be looking for family-friendly vacations. Maybe you do include the name of the city, so maybe why Savannah is the perfect place for your family vacation. Just make sure that you have those other keywords. If someone hasn't already started searching for your place, that they are going to be searching for those other keywords that describe your place in the perfect way and help them see that they need to come visit you ASAP. So hopefully this was helpful. If you want your business to get some free strategy in a future edition of Free Content Idea Fridays, make sure you comment below. Tell me what your business is, tell me your type of business, and we'll see if we can get you on a future edition of Free Content Idea Fridays. Oh God, good hair day Fridays, that would be nice. And do me a favor, if you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more episodes of Free Content Idea Friday, make sure you hit subscribe. If you do that, you'll be able to get notified when I have future episodes, and hopefully your business will be featured next time.